round of the championship. It is going to be very carefully sorted. It is a lot of things, but we'll see exactly what's going to go on for the final qualifying session of the season then, and we are good to go. It's looking likely, you know, we've got quite a lot. Rasmus jumps straight out of pit lane. Jamie follows suit, followed by Nuno, and of course I believe that was Oscar. So we're just going to make sure everyone is just leaving, but Neil Smell will be probably the last to leave. I think he's just that, well, Nuno's going to have to concede that line. As I say, around here it is not going to be very much easy to overtake, especially when you've got a train of cars just like that. You know, there is places where you can overtake, but you've got to be really careful because of the nature of the circuit. But we are going to see exactly what the title contenders are going to do then. So what's Brian Moncani going to do? Is the Belgian going to push his car to get onto pole position, or is Noah going to try and pip him to that elusive pole position and get the extra point for pole position for the time being? But you know, it is a lot at stake because they are both thereabouts, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Just give me 1 second. But it is going to be very carefully picked out. I think Darren's obviously trying to cheer on Rasmus because he is the outsider, but he is not going to be well, he's pushing on at the moment, but he's on his outlap, so it's not too bad. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. You've got the likes of Brian Moncani trying to weave his way, but doing it down Conrad Straight probably isn't the right situation, especially when he's got cars, especially his title contender behind him. But very difficult to get tyres warmed up round here at Bathurst. It can be very tricky, but we'll see exactly what goes on. No one going into pit lane as of yet, so we're going to try and push on. It is going to be very close, this last qualifying session of the season. But are we going to get a new time pole position, or are we going to go and have a lot of interest? It looks like Nuno's trying to push that Subaru as best as he can, with Jamie chasing him down at the moment, with obviously Oscar, Brian Moncani, and of course the Rooster, and of course Finley, followed by Neil Smell. Don't know what happened to Noah. He seems to be pushing on. Whether he's had a bit of an issue somewhere, so he's dropped down a bit now. He's obviously dropped right at the tail of the field for qualifying. He's probably done that to get sort of clear air, which could be a very interesting tactic. We'll see what Rasmus can do going over the top up towards the skyline. I'll tell you what, it is a fabulous circuit. Bathurst offers some amazing views regardless where you are on the circuit. But you know, is Rasmus going to power that Rick Kelly inspired livery to its home pole position? But we'll soon find out. But there's quite a lot of guys at the moment trying to push the limits of their cars. Obviously the BMW M4, Jamie Hillman's drove this astoundingly well all season. And then you've got Oscar, followed by Brian Moncani at the moment. The Belgian trying to literally latch onto the back of Oscar. Oscar doesn't realise he was there and clips the grass there. So this is exactly what I mean. You can't afford stupid issues between the drivers. You've got to be on the money. You've got to be so respectable here, because if you put 1 foot wrong or you make a move, it could be easily picked out. But we'll see what Brian's doing. He gets a bit loose towards the chase then, as he fires it into the chase down from Conrad Straight. But he's got Murray's corner coming up very shortly. But Rasmus goes a 213.063 at the moment. Nuno George, where is Nuno? 213.9 at the moment. Jamie third. Brian Moncani about to cross the line now. Goes a 213.5 at the moment. So he's second on the grid. That's very close with the likes of the Rooster and Oscar with 2:18 and 16 thereabouts, and Finley with a 2:15.3 at the moment. So what is going to happen for Neil Smale? It goes a 2:17 at the moment. Noah 2:12 then, 2:12.6. So championship leader currently on provisional pole position then with a 2:12.6. That is an absolute insane lap by the young championship charger then. He's going to be obviously wanting a car between him and Brian Moncani to try and not take that sort of style, but it is looking likely at the moment. Rasmus is firing his way up towards the S's. Then this is going to be where the action in the race is probably going to be thereabouts. Brian Moncani also pushing that GTR. You can just see exactly what he's going to do. The two GTRs at the moment, second and third on the grid for the first race. Then it is going to be thereabouts, but he's purple in that sector. Is he going to try and push on? Is he going to try and get pole position for the first race of the evening and get that valuable point to try and push back up into the championship lead? It is going to be very difficult to pick out a championship winner. It is going to be very hard for me to keep track this evening who takes the championship, but at the moment it could be very carefully picked out. I'm not too sure exactly how it's going to work out, because you know, if Brian gets pole position, he gets that bonus point, and obviously a bonus point for fastest lap as well. Only one fastest lap point, you know, is going to be thereabouts, but it could be very carefully picked out. You've got Brian Moncani escaping from obviously the chase down towards Murray's corner. Then as Rasmus goes at 2:12.9 at the moment, he's thereabouts, but seeing what Brian can do at the moment, is about to cross the line. That is looking a stellar lap time. What is he going to do? He goes a 2:12.7 at the moment, so he joins his title nemesis alongside him on the grid. Noah's just trying to get warmth into the tyres at the moment. Down Conrad Straight, it's going to be very carefully Finley rather, I do apologise. 2:14.7 at the moment, because Oscar's fifth at the moment, so it's going to be thereabouts. We'll see exactly what's going to happen between these two title nemesis. Then they almost are alongside each other on the grid, while they technically are, but Noah's lap time this time round was a 2:24.6. He's had an issue somewhere, as he's been caught out at the mountain with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left of qualifying. Then it is going to be a very close sort of style for these two. It is going to be there, but looking at the times, then Brian Moncani is in second place at the moment, slowed down a bit there. But has he got an issue with the Nissan GTR, or is he just playing it safe with 2 minutes left? So it is going to be a very close qualifying session by the looks of it. It's only 0.140 of a second between the pair of them at the moment. This is absolutely astounding. This is going to be very close. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, because Brian needs to finish ahead of Noah to get that championship. He needs to have Noah to have a bit of bad results, but I don't see that happening. I don't see that being a title, you know, how it's going to play in the title. But at the moment, then you've got Brian Moncani second at the moment. Noah still finding his way. Oh, he's near. Oh, I thought he was going to clip the wall then. I thought he was going to clip the wall, but he's thereabouts. He's going to try and push on. He's got 1 minute and 8 seconds to try and get up towards the line. He's going to, Brian Moncani is going to get another lap in by the looks of it. But let's see what he can do. Let's see what the Belgian can do. He's coming through the back straight. No, Nuno up into second then with a 2:12.9 at the moment. So that's a very interesting lap time. Brian Moncani's previous lap time this time was a 2:19.4. That is a bit of a weird situation for Brian, but Finley up into fifth then with a 2:13.8 at the moment. His dad Andrew with a 2:15.22, no, 2:022 rather, or was it 0? Always gone off at Hell Corner there. Obviously he's outbraked himself somehow with a 215.202 there. But what is Noah going to do where he's about to cross the line? He actually went at 213.2 last time. Neil Smale with a 216.9. So most of the guys at the moment have been able to get their final laps in then, so that's quite lucky really, because that's going to show exactly what's going to happen. But is Brian Mulcahy going to convert it to a pole position and get a point for that pole position there? He's going to be obviously pushing on for quite some time, but is he going to be able to do it? This is what we need to find out. Oscar goes a bit wide there, so he's obviously given Brian a bit of space and a bit of time to try and latch on, but it could be very close. It's going to be thereabouts. I'm not too sure exactly who is going to win the championship, but you know, this is exactly how we like to see the racing these days. It is absolutely very close to be pushing on for quite some time. It is obviously going to be Brian Mulcahy trying to push the way where he wants to be at the moment. It's going to be thereabouts. Is he going to be able to get the pole position? He's down on his time at the moment. He's on 1.7, but you know, who's going to be taking pole position? It looks like the likes of Rasmus and Nuno. Nuno gets onto two wheels out of the final corner then. Let's see what these two can do. Are they going to get the toe off each other? They don't. Rasmus actually still stays fourth then at the moment, so it is looking likely Finley's going to try and push that Mustang. Is he going to do a better lap time this time round, or is he just going to push on? It's going to be thereabouts. We'll see exactly. He flashes the lights in the final qualifying session of the season. He still stays fifth at the moment, but Brian Mulcahy still stays second then. Noah goes wide out of the chase. Oh, I thought he was actually going to really hit that wall then, but he is on course to get a stellar pole position. He locks up the brakes there, almost takes out the cameraman there, but that's going to hamper his lap time now. That has really hampered his lap time, but and it's no shame, because he is now got that one extra point for pole position, and it is going to be very carefully picked out during the race. It is going to be looking at to be very interesting to see how close it's going to get. Just give me 1 second while I sort something out here, but who knows exactly what's going to happen for the guys. It is going to be a close battle between the pair of them. Obviously the likes of Noah and of course Brian. You know, I think Brian's going to try and get the upper edge in the race though, but looking at lap times then, it's Noah followed by Brian. They were almost 0.1 of a second between each other, so you know, what a stellar qualifying session that has been, and it's just showing exactly what is going to happen for the race. It is going to be thereabouts, but hopefully we get some amazing racing, but we'll soon find out what is going to go on for the final round of the championship then. This is race number 1, but looking at exactly what's going to happen between Noah and Brian Mulcahy. They are both championship contenders. It looks like Noah, however, with Brian Mulcahy pip him, it looked like it, because they're obviously on the grid first and second, but it looked a bit of a weird advantage, but the camera said it was Brian Mulcahy on pole position, but obviously not. But it looks like Brian Mulcahy's already been swamped going into Hell Corner with Nuno George and of course Rasmus on run thereabouts, trying to get the GTR driver a bit more pressure to try and get away from the likes of obviously Noah and Nuno. Nuno's up in second then with Brian Mulcahy in third at the moment. Rasmus thereabouts, but we'll see exactly what's happened further back. It looks like Oscar's trying to get a move on Jamie Hillman for that 7th place, maybe 6th place at the moment, with the Rooster in 8th and Neil Smell in 9th at the moment, but it is looking very feisty at the moment. It is looking likely that Noah may push on. It looks like, you know, exactly what's going to happen between the pair of them. Are they going to see this race? It is going to be very carefully picked. You know, the likes of Noah and of course Nuno both feisty at the moment. Brian Moncani third. He can't afford to let Noah get further with that Hyundai Genesis, with the GTR clipping the wall slightly as we go over the top of the mountain, then down the hill now to try and see exactly what's going to happen. But it looks like Finley and Oscar almost there. They've got to be very careful. This is exactly what I meant. It is not room for error here, because if you're going to try and make moves like that, it is going to obviously cost you, which it has done, because it's cost Oscar a 5-10th penalty there, with the likes of the Rooster in 7th, Jamie 8th, and Neil Smell in 9th. But at the moment, Noah is still leading the race then from the likes of Nuno and Brian McCartney, with Rasmus Omlund catching them up. But I tell you what, it is getting very close. Finley is thereabouts. It is going to be very carefully picked. It is going to be a lot of interest, because Oscar's got that 5-10th penalty. He will definitely have to get rid of that. But Neil Smell trying to make a move on Jamie, going down towards the chase then with the likes of Oscar and the Rooster. They're almost having a bit of a battle as Oscar goes off wide there. That seems to be a bit of an issue, because that has dropped him back down to 9th place at the moment, with the Rooster and Jamie fighting with Neil Smale at the moment. But Brian Moncani is still in 3rd place. That is not what he wants at the moment. He needs to try and push on. He needs to literally try and catch up to the likes of Noah and of course Nuno, but he's under pressure from Rasmus Omlund at the moment. Both similar machines. They're going to be thereabouts. They're going to try and push on, because the likes of Brian, you know, he's an established racer, but he can't just give in just like that at the moment. He's going to probably try and push for the fastest lap point at the moment, but he's in 3rd place at the moment with the likes of Nuno. Nuno's holding these guys up now, trying to say, well, you know, this could be exactly how it plans out. But Brian Moncani, oh, he's clipped the wall there. He's clipped the wall, which has allowed Rasmus to go there, but Rasmus gets alongside, and this is exactly what you don't want to do, because you don't want to have the door closed. So Brian's now dropped down to 4th at the moment. Jamie up into 6th then, with Finley still in 5th place at the moment. Rooster 7th, Neil Smell 8th, and of course Oscar in 9th at the moment. But I tell you what, this is exactly how the things can't afford to be, because it is a very tight circuit. The room for margin. Jamie goes skating there. Oh, he's lost it. He has lost it going up towards the S's there. That is a bit unfortunate for Jamie, and I'll tell you what, that BMW will be slightly damaged there, with Brian trying to get a move on Rasmus, but Rasmus closes the door. These two are almost going side by side down Conrad Straight. This is exactly what we don't want to, well, we do want to see action, but this is the sort of things we don't want to see, because it is hampering the it can easily hamper the championship. But is this the problem? Is this the problem? We've got the likes of Rasmus and Brian. Is Rasmus trying to work an advantage to try and say, oh my goodness gracious, the two GTRs have another touch there? That is going to be a bit unfortunate. That may go into the stewards. Finley goes off track there. He's got to be very careful on the rejoin that he doesn't take his dad out, because that is exactly what's happening. But that is allowing the likes of Noah to get away in the championship lead. I'll tell you what, he's going to be taking the championship lead, extending it even further, because the likes of Nuno and of course Rasmus Omlund at the moment taking the podium spot off Brian Moncani there at the time being. This is exactly the sort of racing. Yes, okay, Bathurst is notorious for having a bit of a argy-bargy moment, but you can just see the likes of Rasmus and Brian Moncani, both GTRs, battling for that final spot on the podium at the moment. These two have got to be very careful, because this could end up easily in the wall and can easily dent their title challenges. But you know, it looks like at the moment Noah is still there. Nuno second at the moment. Brian Moncani chasing after Rasmus Omlund. He's got to be very carefully picked. You know, the Rooster in 5th and Neil Smell 6th at the moment. Finley 7th, Oscar 8th, Jamie 9th after that skirmish into the wall. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be very interesting. The battle for 3rd at the moment is still there between the likes of Rasmus and of course Brian Moncani, both almost choosing the right moments. But as I say, it's got to be very carefully picked, because it is going to be very carefully, easily done. At the moment, the title could easily go to Noah. Noah is technically leading the race at the moment. Brian Moncani needs to get some salvage points now. He needs to get onto the podium, but at the moment, the way things stand, Noah will be eating that advantage and stretching it further, because Brian Moncani is 4th at the moment. This is exactly what Brian does not want to have. He's got 2 cars ahead of him that he needs to try and get past. Well, I'll say 2, but he's got 3 cars including Noah. But Noah is not going to give up. Brian's trying to make a move on to Rasmus Ommer at the moment. Has he already realised his title's got to be there? He's got around maybe 2 laps, maybe 3 laps to go in this race. He's going to try and make a move into Murray's corner, but he's got to be very careful. We'll see what's happening further back, but Neil Smell's lost it out of the chase then. Has he had an issue? It looked like he's either been spun round or he's had an issue, but the Lexus driver has got going with the likes of Finley and Oscar and the Rooster there in 5th place at the moment. But joining the battle for Elise, now 3rd place then, it is going to be between Rasmus Omren and Brian Moncani, both GTR drivers, the Belgian and the Dane. They're going to be pushing on. They obviously want to try and end it out, but at the moment Brian's trying to make a move on the outside line into the mountain section we go then, but it is going to be very carefully picked. You can just see Nuno there literally latching on. We're on the 4th lap already. It does not seem like we're on the 4th lap. It feels like this race has only just started, but you know, Rasmus is trying to escape from the likes of Brian. Brian is literally at the moment trying to push on for that elusive podium spot to try and get at least some salvageable podium at the moment in this opening race of the evening here at Bathurst Mount Panorama. It is going to be very carefully picked. I'll tell you what, these 2 GTRs, these 2 have obviously had battles thereabouts, but they've also had a bit of bother where you know, it's kind of been thereabouts, but both of them at the moment pushing on. But it looks like Rasmus included that gap at the moment. But look at Noah. This is exactly what Noah wants. Noah wants this. You can tell he wants the title. He came into WTSC last season just at the halfway point, just towards the end, and had an experience in the BMW M4, but he's now in the Hyundai Genesis and he's probably loving this race at the moment, because he knows that Brian's in 4th at the moment. He's just got to finish ahead of Brian in all 3 races to get that title sewn up. But Rasmus is not going to be allowing Brian to get past any easier. But what is happening? Oscar is still there in 6th place at the moment. Finley in 7th, Jamie 8th, Neil Smell now 9th. But I tell you what, onto the penultimate lap we go then for the first race of 3 here at Bathurst. Rasmus runs a bit wide, but is this going to be allowing Brian to open up the taps and get alongside Rasmus? These 2 are almost side by side. Rasmus closes the door yet again. He knows what he's playing, obviously playing a team game. Is he trying to play that game where he, you know, that, because Noah is up ahead. Brian is not going to like this. Brian is not going to like this, ladies and gents. He is not. It is going to be very carefully picked out, but I'll tell you what, Rasmus and of course Brian, these 2 obviously interchanging rivals, but Brian's going to think about it. He can't get the move done. He knows how frustrating it's going to get. It's going to get even more frustrating as the night goes on, because race 2 is a reverse grid. I'll tell you what, it is going to be very carefully picked out to see exactly what's going to happen. But between these 2 at the moment, this is exactly how things are going to pan out. It could be, you know, Noah could easily think, well, I've got the fastest lap as well as a race win, so he gets the better points. But it's not over yet, because, you know, Noah's still there. Nuno in 2nd, Rasmus and Brian there almost nose to tail yet again going down the mountain. But this is exactly why Bathurst is so thrilling. But Rasmus almost clips that wall. Brian's still there in 4th at the moment. The Rooster 5th then, Oscar in 6th and Finley in 7th, followed by Jamie. Oh, Jamie nearly clips the wall there. And Neil Smell in 9th for the moment. But what is happening for this 3rd spot? Is it going to be Rasmus or is it going to be Brian Moncani? It could be between the 2 of them. These 2 have battled all race at the moment. These 2 have had almost a lot of respect for each other. Brian tries to jink one way, he's flashing the lights a moment to say, Rasmus, come on mate. Oh, Brian goes on the grass. Has he got the, oh, he's got the move done. He's got the move done, but he's run too wide. Too wide. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is going to be, Brian is going to be kicking himself. He is going to be kicking himself for kicking up the dirt. Onto the final lap we go then. Noah's already onto the final lap. Nuno in second then, with Rasmus third. At the moment, Brian Mulcahy fourth. He's not going to like this. He is not going to like this one bit. Oh, I don't know how he's feeling right now. His heart rate must be really, well, it's not going to be really sky high, but it's going to be really on the up. It's not going to be easy. The Rooster still fifth then, with the likes of Oscar sixth and Finley seventh. Jamie still eighth. Neil Smell ninth at the moment. Neil trying to push on. He's obviously going to be thereabouts, but Rasmus Omeran, you are absolutely an astounding driver, but I feel, you know, there's some tactic being played here. I could be wrong though, but I'll tell you what, Brian's not going to like finishing fourth at the moment. It could be that Noah could easily try and push on now. This is exactly what he wants. He needs to be in front of Brian Mulcahy for all three races to take this title. It is going to be very close when he realises that he knows Brian's down in fourth. The team are probably telling him that. Nuno is still there in second place at the moment. Rasmus, excuse me, third at the moment. Brian fourth at the moment. Oh, Brian, oh, my heart goes to you, mate. My heart really goes to you at the moment. I feel like you're going to have to literally push in the next two races to try and get some salvageable points now, because it is going to be down to it could end up going down to the last race of the season. But at the moment, the way things are going, Noah is definitely going to get one hand on that trophy. The Rooster still there in fifth place at the moment with the likes of Oscar. These two had a bit of a beef in practice by the looks of it, but Finley there still in seventh, Jamie eighth, Neil Smell in, of course, ninth place. But Noah coming out to the chase then, down towards Murray's corner for the final time then to take the checkered flag in race number one. He can't afford anything stupid, but he takes the first victory of the evening. He will be delighted. Nuno rather in second place at the moment. He is going to be absolutely on the money for race number two. Rasmus there in third at the moment, and Brian Mulcahy fourth. It's going to be very tense. The likes of the Rooster and Oscar, they're almost nose to tail. It's going to be a bit of a hair-raising moment going out of the final turn, but Oscar just takes fifth place from the Rooster, followed by Finley in seventh, then with Jamie eighth at the moment. This could be a very close. Jamie's getting a bit crossed up out of Murray's, but it's going to be thereabouts at the moment. But I think the way things go, I think Noah has extended that championship lead. He has got to be thereabouts now. It is going to be very close. I will try and quickly, if I can, work it out before we get race number two underway. But I tell you what, it is going to be a very carefully picked. But I tell you what, is it going to go down to the wire? This is what we need to find out, because at the moment Noah has one hand on that trophy. He got pole position, so he gets a point for that. He gets the fastest lap, so he's actually got obviously the 20 points he wanted